Hi, OTC family. Hi, everyone. Okay, look, we on Facebook Live. I can just take y'all questions. I tried everything. We tried everything.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Harmony, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? So, I'm
Good.
doing a little Q&A
All
for
right, now for the Q&A.
everyone. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and everything? Everybody know who you are.
Okay, I am a teacher. I've been working with kids. Oh, Lord, it's been like 8+ years. I done deal with kids, work with kids from what, 6 weeks to fifth grade. Grade school I actually been doing for 5 of those 8 years. And I started off as like a para, then I became a first grade teacher. I do ELA and social studies for fourth grade. So, and that's where I'm at right now as far as, doing education. But I've been doing this for a minute.
So, we're going through a little pandemic. I say little because we ain't going to let this trample our life. Okay.
Amen.
So, of course, everybody want to know the big question. What is happening with school this year? A lot of people have withdrawn their children and want to homeschool them. So, what is happening with school this year?
It's as of now, no one has 100% answer. Even with the school I'm at, nothing is set in stone. And school is, right around the corner. Now, most in every parish, whether you're in Jefferson or Leams, East Baton Rouge, a lot of parishes are doing, different things. But now, since I want to say most of the parishes are now doing just virtual until after Labor Day, right? But my school, for example, the teacher, they have been virtual and in person option. Okay, because somehow we was just gonna do in person, but like you said, a lot of parents didn't like that, so they wanted their child virtual, so they started, withdrawing. But then we said, okay, we're gonna offer two options. Some schools are doing, two options. Whether you have to pick virtual or in person. If you pick virtual, you can't flip flop. You have to stay in there at least the first 9 weeks. So once we get an update, like on this pandemic, if they changing what phases we in as far as Louisiana is concerned, then we'll go from there after Labor Day. But as of now, it's not really like a unified answer. It's a majority, like I said, with after Labor Day doing just virtual. But teachers, educators, and the people in the administration part are still just trying to figure things out.
So, we're not doing package. We're not doing package.
Oh no, now see that has
Virtual,
completely
or we
that
in school?
conversation has completely left. It's
So, the
no
package conversation is completely left.
the thing is, like in my school, we actually had a walkthrough where some medical professionals came in. They came with their measuring stick, made sure desks were 6 feet apart, make sure this and that. And one thing they did say, if it's something that a child has to touch, it has to be laminated. So think of it can't be paper, stuff like that. So we trying to figure out how we're gonna, you know, work with the kids in class and virtual if we're going to do, but I want to say most of our assignments going to have to be virtual, whether your child comes to school or whether they're at home. Because they saying, they don't want to pass around work that people touch in and all this kind of stuff. So packets have not come up since we left school in March. And I don't believe they're going to come up again.
Yeah, because that was a rush. That was that y'all had to throw.
So,
I
so
think I for y'all
right.
'cause y'all had to throw things together. And parents, we had
Yes.
to throw things together. There was no time
Yes.
to be fighting, and so everybody literally, school parents, officials, literally had to like come together and figure out. This is the first time I seen that it was like it's about the kids because what are we gonna do with these kids? And people really had
Right.
to.
And then, like you said, it was an issue getting the packets back. So it was a lot
It
with that.
was. It was getting the issue. My principal still have, you know, an issue getting packets back from March, but parents want report cards. We don't
Yeah.
have the work. So
Right.
that's
Right.
crazy. Did y'all pass everybody? Did people just was passing
Well, what
on?
we did, what we did, because we already was in the what? By March, we was in like the third quarter, I want to say. So from
Yeah,
the
this is
but
like the first.
the third quarter on, we just didn't give like F's. Like let's say the lowest grade for a D, let's say a lowest grade is like a 64. Instead of like zeroing the child out, because you have to think about it's not really the child's fault that they can't get the work in. It might be their parents can't bring it, people scared to bring it because of they don't want to leave the house because this was on a stay-at-home, order and whatnot. But so let's say the lowest you could get was like a D, let's say it was a 64. So if the child didn't turn anything in, that was their grade for that particular assignment or subject or whatever it is. So I want to say if you had failing grades before the pandemic, you didn't have time to bring it up if you didn't do the work. You see what I'm saying? So if you was already making F's and you was making D's, you failed that way. So if a child failed, because if you would have had your passing grades, you would have been fine. You see what I'm saying? But I don't think we did. If we did, it wasn't a lot. And if we did, it was kids already, like I said, failing. Because our goal was, to be fair to the kids that have been working hard all year. And then you're gonna just get zeros. So it was like that's not fair. We just kind of like, did it that way.
Right. Do you feel safe teaching this year?
Um, that's really a
Be
hard question.
careful.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a hard
Answer that
girl, look. It's a hard question because like I said, they changing the CDC guidelines, and it's like stuff is changing every day. And I think more so the teachers, but more so their fear is really setting in because there's so much uncertainty. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Because then you got
Changing
flu
every
season
day.
coming up too. Don't forget. So
Huh?
you got flu season coming up too. So I
Right,
don't
and
know
that's what
who's
I'm
gonna be
saying.
on
It's combined.
flu.
Right, it's combined with all that, and then you got something new on your plate. So I think that's where, like, the fear factor is. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's like you're back up against the wall pretty much. So it's like you want to teach, you want to do this, you want to do that, and then you have to think about your health. So I think initially, as time is getting closer and closer to schools opening, I think I am, just a little nervous and apprehensive. But I just been praying through it, and like that's all you can do.
Right. We pray God
So,
protect your life because you got somebody
wear your
ma'am.
protective equipment. I made sure I got my protective equipment at least for the whole year.
Y'all
Because
gotta wear protective equipment like the people in the hospital.
oh yeah. Now, they have so many different layers. We're not gonna have N95s and all that, but it's your personal choice as long as you have a face covering. If you want it to be one of those cloth masks, bandana, whatever it is, you have to have a face covering. So whatever face covering is, it's up to you. They also sent us a video of, because some people have been against face coverings, but they sent us a video of like why it's important, and they show like the science, behind it, all that kind of stuff to kind of get, I guess, teachers more comfortable. What I'm saying? It's just every little, they've been doing so many things to get us comfortable, and I'm just hoping
Trying to make
that.
y'all come back to school because I've been
Right, right.
so
But I'm
tired.
like, I want y'all, I'm glad y'all, I'm trying to make us reassure us, but at the same time, I want it to be accurate information too. You
Right.
see, because at first, when the CDC first came out with their guidelines, we was like, that is not going to happen.
Right.
And now,
Uh-oh. Our Zoom wanna mess up again.
so I don't know. So we just go through the process. You
Right.
hear me?
Yeah, I wait for the Zoom to echo. There you go. It's back. So how many students are y'all gonna take in at a time? Are y'all gonna do alternate days? Because I've been hearing that schools are gonna do alternate days, like a student
Oh, there you go.
A or B. Are y'all gonna take in a certain amount of students? Because it's gonna be weird. Like there will be
I
no
can see you.
recess.
Can you
There
hear
will be
me?
no extracurricular activities. There will be walking a straight line. What is that like for the students?
Oh, okay, there you go.
Oh, I went away.
Well, as far as uh, um, as of now, as of now, the kids, like I said, we're offering virtual and the same amount as a regular class. Let's say I have 20 students, but 10 of them are at home and 10 are in class.
Right.
So it's kind of going to be set up that kind of way. And we still actually working out the kinks with that. And like I said, all schools are different. But just our school, I'm not going to have like over 10 kids in a physical classroom because, all the kids have to be spaced out. Once things change, let's just say, this COVID stuff kind of just calm down or go away or whatever. Then transition to, back to some normalcy or whatever. But as of now, that's, that's what we're doing because we can't have all the kids.
I think we all get new information. So will they have the the setting up like the things on your desk, like a little cubicle, or will it be open space?
This is how it went to my understanding.
So what's the understanding of the cubicle?
Okay, from my understanding that if they have the actual setup of the cubicles, they don't have to be 6 feet apart. But if you don't have them, they
Okay, cool.
so school is.
So it depends on the school and what route they're taking. So they have to be 6 feet apart if they don't have the cubicle.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What procedures are they?
Now it's optimal to have both, you know. Um, but it really just depends. But like I said, one minute they said it had to be 6 feet either way. So that's, like I said, it's constantly changing with these guidelines.
You can hear me? Okay, well there you go. You're moving. I can't hear you, but you're moving. What's the precautions?
Yep.
What's the precautions the school taking once school starts? Will
Yep.
everybody have to have
What?
temperature checks or every day once they come in school?
Yes. Now, they still debating about. They still de- they still debating about the bus, like kids that ride the bus. So I haven't heard anything like a solid decision whether they going to, check temperatures before they get on the bus or wait till they get to school. Some people saying it's not going to work, doing the bus because that's going to slow down the process. But the school I'm at, they don't have, bus services. So all kids that's coming, they'll be dropped off. Now, once they get to school, they get their temperature check at their car. So let's say if a child temperature over 100.4, they have to leave and stay.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, they just have to go to. Now, if the doctor, see, that's gonna be up to the doctor whether they do that.
Okay. Also, they will have to go see the doctor if they have temperature over like 104.
The school can say, "Oh, just because you got a fever, go get this test." It has to be all they have to be from the doctor.
Oh.
And
Ooh, this is a
every
lie.
time a child come back from whatever, for it's a fever or throwing up, because any sickness or any, whether they go get the test or not, the doctor say, oh, yeah, 100.4. And they have to come back with a doctor's note.
That's a lie. COVID taking us through a lot. Just to have these childhood.
Tell me about your check and all that. Let's say a child gets sick, in the middle of the school. That's apart from everybody. So it really just depends on your school setup. Where I'm at, so they could, sit, by themselves, or sit apart, or whoever come, pick
Does it
them up.
say sick?
And they have to come, back to school with a doctor's note. Let's say it is confirmed. Let's say, oh yeah, the student had COVID-19. Yeah, now that's what I'm saying. That's after check and everything, and they get sick later on and send them off away from other students till their parents or guardians can pick them up. And then once they go to the doctor's office, you have to get that note. But I say if they do test positive and that's the reason why they got sick, then that's a whole nother level of steps the school has to take. And by steps, I mean it's going to have to talk to probably LDH. It might have to close that classroom for a couple of days, because they'll ask questions such as, was this child 6 feet apart away from other students? Was this child masked all the time during his day? So it's a lot of questions that's going to determine whether that classroom or the school is closed. That's what they talked about. The medical professionals that came to walk through, that's the information they gave us. It's steps to how they gonna handle a situation like that.
Well, that's good. They
If a
got
child is,
set up. If
test.
a child gets sick, that's where they gotta go and sit at until their parents pick them up. So that's a good thing. Have y'all had Zoom orientation with parents just yet?
No, not the principal have been meeting with parents just to get their input on like the virtual learning and on the in-school learning. But we talked about that actually today, that she said maybe the end of this week or early next week, we're going to have a sit down with the parents that, well, not probably a physical sit down, but maybe a Zoom meeting with the parents that are choosing virtual. I don't know how the meeting is going to go, but once we get everybody decided on what they're doing, because we're still waiting on parents to submit whether their child is doing in school or virtual. I mean, they had a deadline, but so many parents are unsure what they want to do because every time you turn the news on, it's something new. So you might say, oh, I want my child to do this, or oh, I might want my child to do that. Things are always changing constantly. So, but we are going to have some type of meeting with those parents that choose virtual, let them know, what the expectation is, how to do this and how to do that.
Well, y'all gonna accept students, but y'all not gonna accept kindergarten on, kindergarten and pre-K right at this point, because it's gonna be hard to get them to understand. We can't play with toys.
Well,
Okay.
as of now, the school I'm at does pre-K through 8th. So with that being said, as of now, that is, we're accepting young kids. And the thing about it is, that's just something that decision going to be on the parents whether they decide to do virtual. And all these webinars we did for the summer, they basically was saying if a parent chooses virtual learning for their young child, like you said, pre-K, kindergarten, and probably first two, the teachers more so going to have to communicate with the parent on, let's say, setting the child up to get on a Zoom meeting or setting the child up to do this in Google Classroom. So it's going to be a lot of more for parents that choose virtual learning for young kids. It's going to be a lot of more hands-on from the person that's watching their kid for their school day, whether it's the parent itself or whether it's the babysitter watching them doing that day, or an aunt or uncle, whoever that child is going to be with during the school day is going to help their child up with their virtual learning setup.
How
So
can us
a
education
lot.
consultants like me support y'all? How can we support y'all?
This will be a good time for you guys to just reach out to different schools and suggest your services pretty much. Because for example, they're gonna probably, I don't know if you have this, but I know some people actually taking small group kids in for their tutoring business. Like let's say if it's 8 to 3 or something like that. Businesses are doing, because parents have to go to work. You see what I'm saying? Or it's really hard to say for the little ones, because if you do like younger kids, they would have to come in person to your business because they're gonna actually need physical help. Now, on the other end, like the older kids, it's they're gonna probably need a lot of definitely tutoring help because the virtual learning is so limited. Just like we had an issue with the internet and stuff like that. So let's say the child missed a day because it's storming outside and the internet not working. So y'all may could do collaboration. Let's say if your company come in, our children come in or partner up with like 5 different schools. And let's say if this happened, well, we could tutor this child at this time. You see what I'm saying? If they miss school or something like that.
Mhm.
Definitely gonna need outside supplemental services, I think, especially for parents that's struggling of, understanding and working with the virtual learning and going to work. They're gonna need some extra assistance.
Well, girl, I would like to keep talking, but we almost out of time. This ain't about to cut off on us.
Oh no.
Yes. And look, just when Zoom want to work at this point, it
I
won't
know, right?
down. Look at that.
Girl.
Thank you, Miss Chantel, for your time. I really thank you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. No problem. Anytime.
So thank you, OCC people. Drop your questions. When you see one, teach one. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye, Miss Chantel.
Bye,